Hello guys, and today I'll be making a simple video regarding food production in Dragon Mania Legends, and I'll be talking about the options in the food production here. So to all you playing Dragon Mania Legends, you might be wondering what food option you should farm and what is the most efficient, so you will be not wasting your precious gold resources. Well, here is how food production works in this game. The higher amount of the gold you spend, the higher the food value is. But that's not the case. The efficiency of the cost uh, is solely based on the food it produces, but also the time it takes. So different farm levels have different best options for gold efficiency and time efficiency. So to prove that, we'll take a look at the spreadsheet that I made. So let's just flash that on the screen. There you go. Very easy. And for every level of the farm, you'll see varying colors in the spreadsheet that highlights what is the best option. If it's light blue, then that means that it's also the best in gold and time efficiency rate. If you see only gold or yellow, it means that it is the most cheapest one. If you see green, it means that it is like the most time efficient option out of all the options here. So how did I compute all of this? Well, if we look at the first column here, we see the options. Second, the amount of food being produced per instance of the farm, the amount that it will produce if you multi-plant it. The multi-plant of the spreadsheet is based on the maximum amount of multi-plant, which is 15. And this is the cost one, right? So the cost per R, this is actually very simple. You just multiply and divide the cost by R. Okay, so here I rounded up the decimals to 2 digits, so it's gonna be easier to read for the us. And here we have the food per R, and this basically means that we are measuring how much food are we producing per an hourly basis. So at level one, we see that the best option theoretically is the spiky cherry because out of all the options here, it is the most cheapest and it's also the most time efficient one. However, the only downside is this takes like 30 seconds to make. So in order for you to hit the quota of the food per hour and to reach the maximum amount of efficiency that you want, you're gonna have to click the game very, very annoyingly because you have to like refresh the farm instance per 30 seconds. So that means that you're gonna be doing nothing with your life except clicking the instance of the spiky cherry farm. And looking at that, the practicality of that is very low. I won't do that. But looking at the statistics here, it's really great. If you set up an auto clicker up for your game, this could potentially be the most efficient way to farm food in the game. But it's not easy, right? So if the Spaghetti Cherry has the best statistics here, but it's not practical due to human reasons, then what is the best second option? Well, I would say that the second best option is the Purplemon on level 1 because the amount of the amount of the efficiency of that you will get using this option is not that bad, but also you only have to refresh the instance of the food per 5 minutes, which is, I mean, not that long, but also not that short. So it lies somewhere in the middle if in terms of efficiency here. So if you don't want to spam Spiky Cherry, then go ahead and go for Purplemon. At early game, by the way, you won't need that much food, so the maximum amount of level you would go for your dragons is level 10 until you hit the temples. And here at level 2, it's actually very easy to do. It is the Clan Blue Hazel. If you don't have a clan yet at this stage of the game, And the second best option is, of course, the blue hazel. Let me just explain why this is the option. Looking from the statistics in here, it simply has the most highest amount of time efficiency and also highest gold efficiency rate. If you look at the hourly, we can also see that the blue hazel produces 100 foot per hour per the cost of 750 gold. And here you see that start to see very high cost value in the dragon scale and dragolandic berry. And you simply multiply that, you'll see that the ratio of that is simply not good. However, the difference is not that high. I mean, if you really want to maximize your gold, you should go for these two options here. But let's say you want to AFK for a long time, then you should go for the Dragolandic Berry because it refreshes at around 12 bars. It produces 1.5k of food. Now that it's not that cheap, it's not cheap by any means, but like if you have to go away, in a long time, this is the best option. The level 1 and 2 farm levels are very confusing to say the least because you can't just say that it's the best option here, but looking at the statistics, kind of helps. The level 3, this is where things start to get interesting. We start to see differing values in gold efficiency and time efficiency here. So if you just want the most cheapest one, but also the most moderate time efficient one, you should go for the Starfruit or the clan variant of Starfruit. So it's really cheap because it produces around 5.5k of food for a minuscule cost of 60k. It's very cheap compared to other options here. So you can see if you multi-plant this, that's just 900k compared to other options in here. The sweet root, if you look at its raw values, it produces the most amount of food, but it takes like 2 days. And the starfruit will not be able to produce that much food in that time frame, but also it will not cost you too much. The sweet root, it just costs too much for the amount of food that it produces. If you don't mind the cost though, then just go for the sweet root, I guess. But you mind the cost, go for the clan starfruit. Now let's take a look at the spring cherry one because this is the most time efficient out of these options. Let me tell you why. This thing only takes an hour to complete and it provides 7.5 thousand food per hour. That's crazy. It's really efficient. For example, if you really want to play this game for 24 hours, supposedly, and you have a lot of gold and you just spam this could theoretically be the best option in the game. I'm not kidding. If you multiply the full amount of food that it can produce per day, which is really high, and it's the best option out there. And if you manage to spam it for like 8 hours straight, it surpasses the food production of any option in here. The only downside is that it has a very low gold efficiency rate, so you're gonna pretty much empty your packets if you choose the spring cherry. However, it's really is the fastest one here. Can even other ones can't even compete here. Now let's take a look at the level 4. This is where the most endgame players would be, so the amount of food it produces and the cost is just too high. Let's take a look at the Squarey Berry because this is the most time efficient one. And let me tell you why. Its food per hour production rate is not that bad compared to the spring cherry. It's the most second time efficient food option that you can get. The only downside is if you plant this, on all your farms, its cost is too high for the amount of food that it will produce it. So that's the only thing that you don't want. It's really high. The cost is high, but the food production is also high, so that's great. And then the cheapest one, of course, is the candle Pear, which sits on 0.0.5 efficiency rate, which is the highest in the level 4, by the way. Food per hour, not that great. The cost per hour is definitely cheap, and you can see that's the most cheapest one out here. This one is 150K, which is expensive, by the way. So if you want to produce large amount of food and you don't care about your money, you should go for the clan royal fig. It's really the best out of all the options here. If you want to produce food in a long time and you don't want to you need the instant and you don't care about the stats of the food production, you're gonna go for this. It's a no-brainer. The only downside is that it costs too much. So that's it. So if it costs too much level 4, should you not upgrade your farm? Definitely, you should upgrade your farm because obviously it matters. It's just that efficiency sometimes just doesn't really show you the practicality of the options. So I would suggest that you should upgrade your farm to the highest level as much as possible in the game. And you could also use food calculators from the websites to calculate the amount of food your dragon needs. Let me tell you now, if you're playing this game and you are free to play what the extent. If you're playing this game and you're a free to play player, you should expect that you will be spending a lot of time for you raise your dragons competitively. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching the simple video of mine. And I'm currently breeding for the Sapphirous dragon here. We're already done with the snowflake. I'll probably use it the game, but yeah, I just wanted to get the most efficient option out of this food production because I started to notice that like the higher you go, it's just like the lower the efficient rate is, but it's still good by the way. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys.